You aren't Regis. Hey, have you seen Regis? I'm kind of worried about him, man. What's your name? We'll call you Charlotte because you know what? My wife is on a mission of mercy today, and she's going to the Neenah Public Library, and she's going to pick up the book Charlotte's Web. And my son Garrison, oh, he's going to read it. Well, he's going to read it if he ever wants to play electronics and stuff like that again, because I'm grateful that I grew up in an era where there was no tablets, there was no cell phones. My stomach is getting a little bit pudgy. Charlotte, I see you do a lot of body weight exercises, Charlotte. I bet you that is just ridiculously good for your core. Watch out for Regis. I hear spiders eat each other. It's kind of the law of the jungle. But enough of that. Charlotte and Regis. All right. Well, I'm going to jump in the gratitude shower today in the dark. It was only a matter of time until Garrison's teacher sent home an email saying, "Hey, can we talk?" And well, my wife probably sent her a nice email back to the teacher. Garrison is a complicated little man, to say the least. I love him to death. He is a very special and unique child. And he gets that from his mom, because his mom is probably one of the most emotionally intelligent human beings that I ever crossed paths with in my life. And I kind of have a internal radar for these sort of things, because people with high emotional intelligence, that's who I kind of gravitate towards. So anyway, my wife and I had a nice discussion about Garrison and his behavior, and we've come to realize that the internet, is not such a good thing. Hey, if you kind of boil it down, the internet lost me my favorite job I've ever had, working at the internet. Working at the monastery. I gotta wake my brain up. A little more cold water on the brain should wake it up, that's for sure. But I want Garrison to be a good kid. That's, I don't think that's narcissistic. A lot of these articles on the internet about dark psychology say, that narcissists, the reason they have children is so that they can basically make them do stuff that you didn't do during your childhood or whatever, and then you live through them. I want Garrison to be whoever he wants to be, but I really am kind of putting all my chips on the, hey, be a good guy, not be the bad guy type thing. So there was an incident in school, and I'm not doing this to shame my son. I know a lot of people on the internet shame their kids, and that's not what I'm about at all. I'm all about accountability. Like, I've seen some behaviors in Garrison at the swimming pool. I've seen it on the football field, and these stories that I get from his teachers every year. Mr. Garrison is a fighter. He is a fighter, and he has a little bit of darkness in him that, it just runs in the family. That's all I got to say. So instead of playing Fortnite and trash talking to the people that he defeats with his twin submachine guns or whatever, he is going to be reading the book Charlotte's Web. So thank you for that cameo, Charlotte. Your timing was just perfect, to say the least. And then after he's done with that book, and that's going to be a long book for a young man, we're going to talk about it. We're going to ask questions about it. And then he's going to write a story of his own, because, Charlotte and Charlotte's Web had a ton of kids, tons of them, and Sadly, Wilbur watched them all fly away on parachutes, but 3 of them ended up sticking around by the barn and hanging out with Wilbur. And I want Garrison to write a story. Doesn't have to be a long one, about those 3 spiders and Wilbur's, kind of like the sequel. I don't know if there ever was a Charlotte's Web 2. Probably was, because everybody trying to make a buck these days. There is nothing more hellish than a freaking ice cold shower at dirt early in the morning, and there is nothing more challenging than being a parent and trying to raise good kids in this world. This world is rough. It's cruel, but you just gotta, and I guess sometimes I'm at a loss for words, and that's why I do these videos. How do you tell your son that be better than the world? That's kind of grandiose. But I want Garrison to be better than the world around him, so he makes the world around him better. That's a lot to put on a 9-year-old, but being good isn't that hard. It's just not as easy as doing the other thing.